I believe every person has a right to basic knowledge of how to optimize their mind, body, and spirit. Here, I bring to you influential individuals and ideas to help you live a more healthy, fulfilling life. I'm Julie Fouché, and I'd like to welcome you to Pursuing Health. Hello and welcome to episode 14 of Pursuing Health. My guest on this episode is a lady that doesn't need much of an introduction. It's the 2014 Reebok CrossFit Games champion, Camille Leblanc Bazinet. Camille and I both began our CrossFit Games journeys in 2010, and she has competed every single year since then. She ultimately earned the title of Fittest Woman on Earth in 2014. In addition to training and competing in the CrossFit Games, she's a very busy woman. She holds a spot on the Canadian National Olympic Weightlifting team. She's finishing her chemical engineering degree from the University of Sherbrooke in Quebec, Canada, and she serves as a trainer on the CrossFit Level 1 seminar staff. Over the past 5 years or so, Camille and I have spent a lot of time together at various competitions and events, and I've always been really impressed with her unrelenting passion for CrossFit and her fire to always be better than she was the day before, no matter what it takes. In this episode, we sit down to discuss her reflections on the 2015 CrossFit Games and how she's approaching the 2016 season. We'll also talk about where she's at in school, what drives her to complete her education, and her plans to use it in the future. And we'll discuss some of our mutual experiences with the impact of CrossFit on body image and self-confidence in women. If you're enjoying the podcast, please head over to iTunes to subscribe and give it a rating. I also want to give you guys a couple of updates this week. Something new and exciting, you can head over to my website and enter your email in order to stay in the loop with the podcast and everything else I'm up to. So I'll be sending exclusive content to subscribers there every 2 weeks. And the first issue, I will include Camille's answers to the 3 questions that I usually ask at the end of every podcast. I also want to update you on my training program through Beyond the Whiteboard. We're just now beginning our second month and cycle of the program, and it's been a ton of fun so far. It's been really great to see people stay accountable and train efficiently using this program during the 60 minutes, 5 days a week. And I know I'm personally getting a lot out of the program as well. So for more info to join us and try it out, visit beyondthewhiteboard.com/Julie Fouché, or take a listen to Pursuing Health podcast episode 12, where I go into more detail about the program. So with that, let's get started with our latest episode, number 14 of Pursuing Health, with the one and only Camille Leblanc Bazinet. Welcome, everyone, back to Pursuing Health. I am sitting here with Camille Leblanc Bazinet, and we are at Rogue. She just completed the first weekend of the team series with her team, Rogue Red, and we're going to do some training later today. I hope she doesn't kill me.
I hope you don't kill me.
So maybe start out telling us a little bit about what you've been up to since the games.
Oh boy.
A lot, I'm sure.
Yes. So right after the game was some of the qualification for the Olympic team in Canada. So I did
for Olympic weightlifting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did some of that. Sadly, I don't think we'll have any spot for Canada. So I mean, I'm still on the national team, but I'm not. No one might go to the Olympic to represent our country. So that's a little sad. But it doesn't matter. I mean, I was just...
Maybe 4 years from now,
we'll
be out there.
It's only 4 more years.
Right. That's really cool. So you have a spot on the national team for weightlifting in Canada. What do you have to do to get that spot or to keep it?
To get it or keep it, it's just normally it's the 7 best guy and 7 best girl of the country.
Okay.
So you just need to make sure you're top 7.
That's so cool. So how many Olympic weightlifting meets do you do usually per year?
Because of CrossFit, I'll do 2.
Okay.
Which is the exact amount that you need to be on the team. So pressure's on. I literally have 6 snatch and 6 clean and jerk in the year that I need to do good at.
Wow. That's so cool, though. It's so cool to see how you can be at such a high level in that sport, you know, while you're still training primarily for CrossFit.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, I think it's more like, for me, it started more as, well, I'm a smaller athlete in CrossFit. I need to find a way to get better. And I was like, well, if I can be technically perfect, I will like reach like my biggest potential in like my strength. And so I obviously got stronger. And then one day I look around and I was like, hey, I would rank well in weightlifting in my weight class because there is a weight class. And that was it.
Nice, yeah.
But
that's so cool.
It was never a priority to be good at lifting outside for CrossFit.
Right. Still being well-rounded, of course.
Yeah. So after that, I took some day at Walt Disney World.
Oh,
with my husband. So that was great.
That's so much fun.
My first year buying the mini ears and going full on Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
That was great.
That's so fun. Did you go to different parks or just Disney World?
We went to the Florida one.
Okay.
And we went to Magic Kingdom and I don't remember. Universal one. I don't know the other one.
Studios.
Hollywood. Hollywood something.
It's been so long since I've been to those. But I remember the Bugs Life video. Did you go to that one? No. The only thing I remember about that is going to Bugs Life, and at the end they like make this thing go underneath your seat so it feels like there's bugs running across.
I was mainly busy doing the Tower of Terror like 1,000 times. But that really was fun. And now I'm back in school.
Okay.
Finger crossed, finishing my degree. Finally.
That's so exciting. So this is your last semester, correct?
Yeah, last semester and then one class online.
One more online class. That is so exciting.
And that's it.
Wow. So let's talk about school a little bit more because that's something that I guess we both have in common. We've been doing school since we started. We both started competing in CrossFit Games in 2010. Yep. And we've talked about it before, what it's like to try to, you know, fit in your studying and prioritize your training. And what for you has kept you going and made you want to like make all the sacrifices that you have to make so that you are right now living in Canada, completing school, even though you'd much rather be maybe training at your home in Boulder.
Yeah, no,
so
totally.
Why is it so important for you to finish?
I think and I think you're like me a little bit for this, but I have this thing inside me that is, if I commit to something, it's really hard for me to not finish. Like really, really hard for me to not finish. And I also have a passion for what I study in. And I just think that it feels so good to get smarter and have more knowledge and just keep evolving in your head as much as you're evolving obviously physically in CrossFit and in your head too, but in a different way. But I don't know, the challenge of studying and getting smarter and understanding the world better just like really kept me hooked to like continuing my school and my study. And I just think that having a diploma is very important.
Absolutely. Especially since you put all that work in ahead of time and now you want to finish it. At
this point it would be like so silly to not finish because I'm there.
Right. And you're so close. I'm so excited for you.
I can't wait.
That's awesome.
I'm sure I'm going to cry the day that I'm done. Just like I can't believe I did it. Just it did happen. Like.
And you're studying, for people who don't know, chemical engineering, correct? And at this point, do you have any plans to do anything with it immediately, or are you just going to kind of, you know, go back to training and then wait and see what happens?
Well, right now I feel like I'm kind of starting to get so over it. It's been like so long that I've been in school. But, you know, I think I started to study in that and I kept studying for that long just because I have like a lot of passion for it. And something that for me, like I have at heart is especially doing like recycling process for industry, air and water treatment, just to try to kind of do my own part in the world to make our world better. I have a feeling that that's why we, especially us, we do what we do, is just try to make our world better and in the way that makes sense to us. And for me, something that always made sense was, well, we kind of need to find a way to make sure that our next generation can survive. So that's why I went into kind of going to recycling process and air and water treatment was to like kind of try to save a resource and try to save the planet before it's too late. So something that I definitely would like to do is maybe like building my own thing and have that as like charity and side project, like part of Camille Inc. I don't know.
That's so cool, and a great way to use the platform that you already have through CrossFit to do something really positive and combine your your chemical engineering background.
So that would be like my full-on dream.
That's
amazing. Having like a CLB Inc. And like on the side, like be able to do charity projects that are like trying to make our world better in a certain way.
That's awesome. I would donate to your charity.
Well, thank you very much.
That's so cool. I hope that you do that someday. I think that would be awesome.
And what's your goal?
My goal. So I still have more school left than you do. I have about 2 years left of med school before I graduate, which isn't too bad. It's just going to be 2 really focused, intense years. And then I have 3 years of residency after that. I want to do family medicine, just general practitioner. And after that, Danny and my husband and I are really passionate about bringing what we have been doing with CrossFit together with medicine. So trying to help people through lifestyle and then also with our medical knowledge too.
So trying to be the swim coach and the lifeguard at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah. Or at least have a place for people to go where they can get both.
Yeah, no, totally. It's funny because like my husband's dad and mom, they're getting older, and we had like this full-on discussion about that with doctor, and we were like, you need to make sure you go see a swimming coach before you go see your lifeguard, which is the doctor.
Right.
Because it's not once they give you medication that the medication will save you. Like, it's just you need to change your lifestyle and do that. And we were like, we were definitely talking about how it feel like it's missing in the field to just have maybe a little bit more of a follow through than just, well, we're going to fix everything with medication.
Right.
Where you should be, maybe you should lose some weight or maybe you should train more. And if we can get you off of medication, that would be like the win.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing how many people just want that quick fix. It's the same thing with working out. People don't want to do the hard work to get there. They just want, they want the fun stuff, or they want whatever's going to be easy. But, that's not going to get you very far in the long run. So I love that analogy from
Greg, right? Greg. Yeah.
Your
I love that one too.
Is your lifeguard, not your swim coach?
Yeah. And you're like, damn it.
I know.
You're right. And that's a very good sentence too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That one definitely stayed with me when he said that. I was like, yep. Yeah, you're right.
That's a good one.
Let's try to never use the lifeguard because that's the goal.
Right. Yeah. I never want to have a lifeguard save my life.
Yeah. So. No.
Very true.
Except if it's like super cute and you're single and you're like, oopsie.
Good point.
Which will never happen with us because we already found our lifeguard.
Yeah. Hopefully no more lifeguards for us. Oh, goodness. Okay, so what else have you've been back in school and you've been doing some other traveling and trying to get your training? A little bit of everything.
Yeah, I think I don't know. It's funny when you look from we've both started in 2010 to now, and 2010 it was almost just hanging around and training and schooling, and that's it.
Like a couple hours a day, you go to the gym after school, and that was about
and now it's just just the commitment with sponsor and competition. Same with CrossFit. That now there's a lot more with the Team Series and the Invitational and whatever event they invite you at. Normally there used to be non-event, just a CrossFit game, and that was it. And now sponsor, you have to go to overseas to do this and that, and you need to post every week and build your brand, and it's just now it's just a lot.
Right. Very demanding.
But I like it.
Yeah, it becomes like we say, it is a full-time job.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I want to talk a little bit about the games too. I know you don't want to talk about it.
I knew.
But wait,
I'm not dumb. I'm not fool. No, but it's okay.
For me, I think like one of the hardest things about, we're talking about how this is a full-time job now.
Yeah.
You're training hours a day. You're doing all these other things you're committed to. You're committing most of your time for one weekend out of the year, maybe two for the regionals.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. You're like really putting yourself out there to be like,
you need to be perfect.
You need to be perfect on this one weekend.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of people, even whether it's the games or it's anything else that they want to do in life, that would scare them away from doing it. Like, I don't want to fail. I'm just going to stick to what I know and what's safe. But you are really good at just completely putting yourself out there. Like, you always give 100%, no matter what. Too much sometimes. Which is good. And I think it, like, you know, you can use the example of like 2013. You had a year that wasn't quite as good as the year before, and this year maybe wasn't as good as you wanted it to be. But you always, like, after 2013, you bounced right back and won and became the fittest woman on earth. And to me, that's really impressive. How you bounce back so fast, and you're always, even if you're, you know, a little bit down or things don't go as well as you want, you put yourself right back out there, and you use that as fuel to get better or to improve in some way or do something different. Yeah. So where does that come from? How do you think you do that?
It's so, you know, what's funny is like the way I see my own self, and then the way when other people see what you've done, the way they see it is just so different. Like for me, there was never any like, oh, I bounced back and I came back. For me, it was like, it was more when it happened, it was a good thing. And I was like, okay, like, you know, get down off your high horse. You're not as good as you think. So get back in the gym and work harder. Okay. And there was never, like, I really believe that the person who has an excuse for everything that goes wrong will never be a champion. And that person who just hang on to those obviously uncontrollable thing that happened to them. Like, you just, I mean, life is uncontrollable. Like, things happen in life that are unfair and that are out of the blue, and I just feel like it's part of life. So it's like, once you understand that, after that, I feel like, I don't know, I love training and I love getting fitter and I love the challenge. So I'm going to go back in the gym and do what I truly enjoy doing. And I know that for me, like, after winning the game, I started to put pressure on myself. And I remember my husband was like, what are you doing now? Like, I just needed to be the best in the world every day at the gym, which is crazy.
That's a lot of pressure.
Because it's not going to happen.
I was wondering about that because I know how much pressure I would put on myself. And, you know, just coming from me, not even from anyone else, but then knowing that you had won the year before, that's like the most pressure you can possibly have, you know, because no matter what, you're, you know, either going to be the same or worse, like no matter what. I mean, it sounds bad, but it's, even if you do amazing, you're already at the top.
Thanks God I didn't think that way. You can only be worse than what you were last year because, I mean, that was it. This is so funny.
Placement-wise, you know.
Yeah, it was hard. Like, and for myself, I remember after the game, I was like, I want to be unstoppable. And then I just started to train so hard. And I really believe that I went into the game this year being a little bit overtrained. Okay. And I don't think it's like necessarily just my fault. Like, I think it's the fault of like my whole group of support, you know, including me too, because obviously we are so scared to not be doing enough that when you do too much, you still don't know. So it's kind of hard. But yeah, after this year, I just thought, you know what, especially because this year I felt like was very different. A little bit like 2013 felt very different. I was like, well, if the game is going to be different, obviously I need to do something different too. So instead of seeing it maybe, of course I saw it like as a failure a little bit.
That's what we do in our own mind, of course.
Yeah, how can you not? Like, I look back and I know that like I gave up more in some workouts. I mean, if I didn't truly give up, like I know I wasn't like laser focused and just like fighting as much as I would have normally because I was emotionally a little bit disturbed. But I saw that more as I don't ever want to do that again. I don't ever want to be that person again. I want to be better than that. And let's do something different. Let's make that happen. So
awesome. So what are as one of those things that's different, you have started doing Doug Chapman's programming.
Yeah.
Who has been my coach since I started, and I'm so excited.
I was like, I need to be more like Julie, because Julie never stops in those things that I'm not good at.
But no, I'm so excited that you're doing it, and I'm excited to do some today because I haven't been following his programming for the last couple of months. So it'll be fun to
I don't know, like
later.
I'm sure the auditor don't know how like Doug's program work, but it's pretty much like everyone posts their score together. So what has been funny for me is that you're obviously like coming back from your injury, but your score is still coming up.
Yeah.
Like workout that you've done in the past is still coming up. So I'll be doing the workout for the first time. I was like at first I didn't knew it was score that we're already in. I was like, oh my God, she's beating me with like her foot injured. I was like, how did that happen?
Wow.
So that was pretty funny.
That's really funny.
It's pretty cool though.
Yeah, Beyond the Whiteboard is great. That's where we put all of our scores with Doug's programming. It's great to see because you can see all the other athletes' scores and times and kind of gauge where you're at. And it does show, your past results come up. But it's funny for me because they actually calculate your fitness level.
Yeah.
And mine used to be really high. It was like 97% or something, but it only counts like within the last 6 months or 12 months, your workouts. So mine's slowly starting to drop down. Yeah. It's very sad.
Oh, that's so funny.
But, it's motivating me to get it back up there.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's funny. So that was my looking back at this year's game was there is stuff to fix and I'm going to fix it.
Yeah. And I think that's a great example in anything in life. If there's something that's not working, fix it. And you're not afraid of changing something or doing something different.
Totally. So. I have like this sort of, thing inside my heart that when you're faced with challenges, only two ways to react. And the way you react just like means so much about like who you are as a person. And it's always you can either give up and have an excuse for why it didn't go your way or why you can't do it or why you could have done it. And then there's like, well, it didn't happen, but I'm going to get better. And it's like just always, I think it really goes with every challenge that you face. It's always that.
Absolutely.
Like every time.
All about the attitude.
Yeah.
What you tell yourself in your mind.
Gosh. And I think it's just so funny sometimes how like, you see the way I reacted at the game. I don't know what I looked like. Like in my head, I was just crying all over the place. And then you have other people that was like, wow, you really like fought until the end. And you're like, what? Did I? And it's just, I think it's just so funny, like, without knowing how you still inspire people by like just not giving up and like just still being part of the race and things like that. So
absolutely.
So it's pretty cool at the end too. To look back to every good and bad things that happened.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm excited to see what you do this year. It'll be fun.
Me too.
Fun to watch.
Me too.
I want to talk a little bit about body image and what it's like now for girls coming up in CrossFit. Because I think for both of us, when we were younger, we both did gymnastics, we both played sports, and I know for me, once I quit gymnastics, I went through this awful phase where I just hated myself.
Oh, gosh, yes.
And I would go, count my calories on the elliptical machine.
Oh, my God, yes.
And I would eat, bad food and just feel terrible about myself. And it was just awful. Did you have similar experiences?
Yes, I remember I would wake up and I would go run and I would not eat because I'm not hungry. But then I would eat ice cream. But not too much, the kind with no fat, because I wanted to be skinny.
Because that was the healthy one.
Yes, yes. And I was eat a good breakfast, go run, and maybe eat a good lunch, but don't eat the ice cream, now that you look back. But, oh, gosh, yes. I mean, I think that's something also that, maybe we did not have when we were young was people like us now. And, I just feel and I'm sure you feel the same way, but doing gymnastics always had broad shoulder and I had strong legs and I never looked like any of the other girl at school.
Right.
I was definitely not fat. I was just fit.
Right.
And being fit was being different.
And having arm muscles, it was everyone was always looking at your arms.
Yes.
I remember arm wrestling my science teacher in 7th grade because everyone wanted to see me arm wrestle.
That's so funny.
Yeah. But no, I mean, girls normally didn't have muscles, you know.
And it's silly, but like I think no matter what's your body type or like what you do in life, as soon as you're a little bit different, like it just feels like when you grow up, especially when you're like 15, 16, trying to find yourself, your body is changing and people just trigger this one thing that is slightly different. It can just break you.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and that's, I think, when for me, I was like, oh my God, how am I going to get like skinny like those model? And that's where like I started to run and do my little supersets of abs. And that's how you train, right? You're just like running and doing abs superset.
Right.
And looking back is just so sad that like I really wish I had someone. But as we grow, I think, especially growing with CrossFit, is that you find that there's so much pride in every single muscle that I've trained in my body. There's just so much work that goes in our body that how can you not respect that?
Right.
And how can you like not want to be like those sorts of new Wonder Woman that are like finally like strong, confident and independent girl that don't need any man to support them. Like they can do it all and that's it. Yeah. And I think that's just so great. And I think for me, yes, it changed me a lot. Like I'm in such a peace with my body that I'm at the point that I don't care what I look like. I just want to perform the best. And I mean, how great is this?
That is the most freeing thing, I think.
It's crazy.
Because I think back to, you know, even when I was in early college, how much time I would spend thinking about
how I
looked or what I was eating or how many calories I burned, or it was so all consuming. But now, like, you don't think about that. You think about how am I going to PR and how am I going to get better at all my lifts. Yeah,
now it's like I don't think about the food as like something that maybe like will not describe me, but like I don't see food as like this is who I am or the scale, right? Like I don't know if you remember doing that, but like you would feel amazing in the morning. Like you do your hair and you're like, I'm hot. You're like, today I'm so hot. And then you get on the scale and you're 2 pounds heavier than the previous day. And like, oh my God, I'm so fat now. Like, what is that? Like, it's just so crazy. And I think being free from that and just like, first of all, for me now, I see food as just, how can this food make me like as fit as possible? And how can this make me like perform the best I can and be the best version of myself? And I mean, it's so great. I eat well, not because I want to look a certain way, but because I want to be the fittest.
Absolutely.
And it's just nice to live that way.
It really is.
Yeah, right?
It really is. And it's so nice to see, you know, when you see younger girls coming up in doing CrossFit or playing sports that totally get it. And they're, you know, they're so young. They're in high school or even middle school and they already get that. I
feel like, I don't know if you went through that path, but I definitely did. And I feel like you grow up as a kid being so innocent from like body image or anything. Like I remember when I was growing up, I obviously always been competitive. I just wanted to be the best I could be at everything. And I never would ever have thought about what I was eating. You know, or like if I was like more muscular than the other girl, I couldn't care less. And there's like this like little moment in your life that like maybe this one person said that one comment about your arm and you're like, what? Like, am I supposed to be worried about this? And then it's like, you know, the wheel starts spinning in your head and then you start to not feel good in your skin. And I just hope that now with having like this amount of like kind of model out there that are all different and like people are fit, people are nerdy, people are this, people are that, you know, that kids can grow up and be like, well, he said I had big arm, but Camille and Julie have good arm. I want to be like them. Thank you. Like, thank you for that comment. And not like...
And we're nerdy too.
And we are nerdy.
So it's just, you know, win-win.
Like, just if they can grow up without having this transition of like being different is bad and just being different is great. It's just wonderful. People who are different are the one who do different things,
Right.
and that's how the world grow. If we were all the same, it would be quite boring and terrible.
Right. And it just allows people to really be themselves and not
Yes.
try to fit into some other mold of what they think they should be.
Yeah, because I'm sure we all did that.
Oh, yeah.
You like
sure.
try to fit in this group of girl, and you're like,
Not me.
I prefer being by myself.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
I don't think I ever tried to fit in the group of girl, though. I was too busy doing my thing.
Too busy working out or
It's like,
playing
you guys
sport.
fight over the guy. I'll be doing my gymnastic in my school here.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, yeah, I'm so glad that girls have role models and that girls can walk into a CrossFit gym. That's what I love about being in the CrossFit community is it's normal to have muscles and
Yes.
to, you know, be
Yes.
proud of your body, and you have that community of people around you who support you and think that it is really normal.
Yeah.
So we're very lucky.
And I also think it's changing everything else outside.
Mhm.
I mean, if you look at the NSCA, like now when they do conference, like CrossFit everywhere.
Right.
And they're like, but we don't do CrossFit, but, you know.
But you see it, yeah.
Same in the bodybuilding competition. It's like everything is turning to that now, which is
Right.
awesome.
It's amazing, yeah. No longer is it about what you look like. It's all about what you can do.
Yeah.
It's just the way it should be.
Yes.
So.
Seriously, right?
Yes. Very good. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me and
Yeah.
for being so open about everything, as you always are.
Always.
I think, yes, I think that people can really learn from everything you said, and not only in training, but in anything that they're doing in life, whether it's school or whether it's job or their family, really giving 100%, not being afraid to make a change or do something different if you if you need to improve or you need to make a change. So I'm excited to see what you do this year, and we'll have to catch up again next time.
Yeah,
and
we'll have
see
to.
how it goes.
Thank you.
Cool, thank you. Thank you all so much for tuning into this episode. I hope you all enjoyed listening as much as I enjoyed talking to Camille. You may have noticed that I forgot to ask Camille my usual 3 questions at the end of our interview. But have no fear, I caught up with her since our interview to find out what her answers are, and I've included them in my very first subscriber email. All you have to do is head over to my website, juliefouché.com, and subscribe to my email list. From then on, you'll receive bi-weekly emails with my latest podcast episodes and some exclusive content from myself and my guests. So to make sure you never miss an episode